Welcome back to this series on the Chuck E. Cheese Operations Skill Game. In today's episode, we're going to be trying to clean off some of this paint, and then we're going to eventually be getting some of the wiring working. Hopefully getting it to move. So I figure it's time to get this paint off. I'll start with that. We'll worry with wiring later. But we got to get this spray paint off. I already cleaned a little bit off, testing some methods. Basically, two methods that'll work for this. Well, there's probably way more, but two that I've come up with. You can use a razor blade, since this is glass. Razor blade ain't gonna scratch it. But, for one, it doesn't work very well. But that is an option, but not really, because some things are plastic. Like this plexiglass, plastic, that plexiglass, plastic. Can't do that with a razor blade, that'll just scratch it all up. So, the best method I've discovered is a drill. With this polishing disc and glass cleaner. Spray some glass cleaner into the paint. Probably way more than enough. Applying moderate pressure. Waits to remove the paint. It's slow, but it doesn't damage the glass, and in fact it actually makes the glass shinier, so I just gotta do this an absolute ton. I think first I'll just start off by getting off all the overspray, and we'll worry with the main bits later. That's But we're down to these main spots that are going to require a lot more pressure and a lot more time. But let's get a paper towel here and just wipe this down. You can already see it's a much wider area than I cleaned. As you can see, all right here is overspray. This basic whole thing just needs completely polished up. So, start here at the end and just work our way up. I'm gonna pause this and I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, there we go. That glass is clean. No paint's left on that, so now we're moving on to this. So, this needs cleaned, and then I also have the two broken parts in the bin over there. They go right there, that also will need cleaned. And then I'll have to glue them back in or something like that. But I'll start cleaning this, and I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so I got most of it cleaned off. Still have the bit up there. But this stuff was way more difficult to get off. Stuff's very stuck on there. But also got most of the paint off of this. I still have the paint on the joystick. I'm thinking it's going to be probably easiest to take the joystick out, clean that. I also still have it on this, which is sprayed on insanely thick. It's either going to have to be scraped off with a fingernail, or it's going to take a lot of work to slowly polish all that off. But I discovered rubbing alcohol works like 100 times better than this off-brand glass cleaner. Only issue is I'm out. I was able to use the last few drops to clean what I cleaned off of that, which worked way better than that glass cleaner. That stuff works amazing. I still have a bit here, still some overspray all over the thing that needs cleaned off. But that rubbing alcohol worked way better, so I gotta get a few more bottles of that. And then these parts of the plexiglass, which I'm very glad I have. Would have very much sucked had they not been included, but I'm gonna clean all that spray paint off. That'll all need cleaned off. But luckily, pieces are here, so we can patch this up. So it's barely noticeable. You'll just see a line. It won't be that bad. It'll look way better than just having this giant hole here or just having a piece of plexiglass behind it or something. But still got to do all that customization to figure out how this all works. We're missing a thing here. Did notice that, but other than that, I think we're complete. Besides for the main boards that are missing down here. But yeah, I ordered a Arduino, so someday I'll get started on that. It'll probably be a while because I have a lot of other things that need done before it. So sadly, it'll probably join the cabinet pile. Now, it's time to get this claw moving. I actually got extremely lucky and didn't even realize it. Out of all the boards that were taken out of the back, luckily, they left the motor driver board. So, after a little bit of trial and error, I discovered I just have to ground certain pins out to make it move in different directions. So, with the Arduino and a couple relays, it's pretty simple, and I got the claw moving. It actually wasn't that simple. I still had to get all the joystick buttons and drop button and all of buttons to tell it where the claw was working. So, here's what the inside looks like now. We got the motor driver board in the middle, then we got the relays over to the right, and the Arduino is on the left. Well, what do you do when you have a surgery robot? Well, it's pretty obvious. Well, yeah, I did surgery on a grape. I can say my life is complete now. So now it's time to get these scoreboards working. I was able to actually access these boards with the Arduino. I wasn't able to get the scoring, so I ended up having to do that separate, but at least I can control the lights and the numbers. And here's just a testing of all of the scoreboards. As you can see, they're actually working. Why is this video for an EP? I don't know, but it is. This is also sped up to 300% because otherwise this would take forever. This is far from being done. I still need to wire in a coin slot, and as you can see there's another pack of relays there on the right, and those are going to be for the lights that are on the front that tell you which to go for. And then also, I would also like to switch this to a Raspberry Pi, because I want to have sound effects like the original version, and it's just not really doable in the Arduino. The Raspberry Pi is going to make it a whole lot easier, so I'm going to have to switch everything to Raspberry Pi. That's going to take a while. But for now, it is working on the Arduino. I actually was able to access two of the top ones. I was unable to get the total score accessed with the Arduino, so sadly that's not working. But I now have a time limit and all that set up. Even have a bonus one. Don't know why the video is so blurry right here, but as you can see, this game's a lot harder with the top piece on. I thought I was getting good until I put that top restrictor on, and yeah, this is way harder than I thought it would be. But for now, it's working. Eventually I'll go back through and switch it to a Raspberry Pi and add the sound effects, which I already actually figured out a way to get. So if I ever get it to the Raspberry Pi, I'll have sound effects. That'll be dope. But for now, this is where it's at. This is where it's probably going to sit for a while, because I got some new machines in that I got to work on, so this is where I'm leaving it off for now. See you in the next one.